Hi, this is Ivy League Astrologer with the January 2015 reading for Vedic Sagittarius. Okay, let's take a look. So it looks like at the beginning of the month, you're kind of in a position of not being sure what to believe. Like you're looking at this one thing, like you really want that to be true, but this other thing might be true instead. And you really have a strong preference for one of these things to be true and not the other one, but you're just not certain. You don't even know how to tell. Um, it reminds me of, I don't know how many of you have watched The Wire, probably many of you, but when Marlowe is saying to the sheriff, you want it to be one way, you want it to be one way, but it's the other way. So, let's see. Um, Looks like you have a disappointment that is kind of involved in this. You know, it's like maybe you've been waiting for something for a long time, and you thought it would come through, and now you're just not sure if it's ever going to happen and if it's worth waiting for. Yeah, I think it's someone that you've been waiting for. Someone stubborn. Someone who only sees with. Someone who is just weighed down by. I don't want to say by tradition or something. Uh, Maybe even by their laurels or something, like by a sense of a life of richness which they are not able to access, and they feel resentful about that, is kind of what that sort of feels like. Like they're looking at lost opportunities, and it's like they're living in the past a little bit. We're living in what should have been, and they are not able to act because of that. Looks like there's a fresh impulse coming in, though. Or maybe a child. Um, Seems like maybe there's a way to get from this sort of desert landscape you find yourself in with this issue where you're, waiting on someone and you're not sure if they're really going to come through. But there's a way for you within your own mind to get away from, not exactly to get away from caring about it, but just to refresh yourself. There's a way for you to move away from it towards fresh waters, towards even the beach, I want to say, which is funny. If you have the opportunity to go on a beach vacation, you should take it. But yeah, it just feels like there's a way for you to kind of soothe yourself and just take a break from all of it. And that's going to refresh you and replenish you and make you just feel more whole and happier, not dependent on somebody else for your happiness. Yeah, it looks like there's an end to maybe some suspicion, to some guardedness on someone's part. Maybe someone that you made an offer to, but who did not want to take your offer, who was being stubborn about listening to your perspective. Someone who's been hurt before, or someone who's possibly mentally unstable. I feel like more as a hurt, Someone who's on guard, who's just wary. And it seems like you've offered to help this person or offered something to this person, and they didn't want they didn't want what you had to offer, which has led to a separation. Yeah, it's like even though you used to share a home with this person or had an idea that you would like to share a home with this person, even though there's this sort of um, familial or domestic, I think is the word I want, domestic connection between you, because it feels like it could be either family or a romantic relationship. There's been a split. You're standing on two opposite sides, and maybe one person feels like they're walking a tightrope a little bit. They're just not sure of what to say. Or they feel like they have to do it just right in order to win your approval or something. And you don't seem to feel that way. You don't seem to feel that way, but it seems like they do. Like they're projecting that onto you. Seems like maybe the healing for that situation is not immediately available. But that if you keep playing, you keep kind of making noise, is the feeling that I'm getting. And if you keep kind of caring about it or investing it with life, then it will work itself out. And you'll be released from something. You'll be released from a sense of waiting without knowing. Or, of seeing how something's going to work out and the other person doesn't see it. You'll be released from that responsibility of having to own the situation while the other person just kind of, does whatever they're going to do without regard to the whole picture, is how I feel about that. So it looks like maybe you'll finally be able to kind of see new vistas, see a new way forward with this old situation. It may require leaving someone behind. It definitely feels like there's someone who is kind of left out of this solution, or who, in order to get to the new stuff, has to stay behind. There may just not be a lot of communication about this for at least part of the month, even though you may want to talk about it or you may be thinking through it, but it may just be difficult to communicate. It may be that, I really feel like this is the case. It's like, while you're on one side thinking about it and looking toward the future and not being sure what you see, but knowing that you don't want to go forward the way it has been, somebody else that you're kind of waiting to hear from, or is the person on the other side of this conflict, is also looking into the future and seeing it and kind of getting ready to strike out. So it's like you guys are getting ready to move towards a mutual solution, but at the moment, both of you are just taking time to collect yourselves and to think about what you want for the future, what you see for the future, before you stride out into it. There may be some doubts in your mind or in others. I feel like this is coming from other people. Other people may be telling you what you should do and, be spinning it this way and that, be, rewriting the narrative for you in a way that is not how you see it. And that you may just not want to talk about it. That's kind of how I feel about that too. You may just not want other people's input. Like that it just has to work itself out. And hearing other people kind of chitter chatter about it or just give their 2 cents is not helpful. It's just distracting. It hurts your ego or something, or it hurts your sense of self because people are seeing it very differently than you're seeing it. And so it's just not useful, it feels like. It's also not useful for you to just sit and think about it, which is funny. So it's like, don't don't worry so much about what other people think, but also just don't spend your time just dwelling on it, I think. It's going to move forward in its own time. And, you know, it seems like it's something that's between two people. So it doesn't seem like you just stewing about it or worrying about it is going to get you any closer to a resolution. Yeah. It looks like don't stew about it. Don't just wait on it. You know, do something else. Find a project to work on. It'll move forward in its time. It's almost like there's a larger force that's going to bring you together with this person, or that's going to steamroll past your differences. Yeah, I feel like there's kind of a larger force that's going to put you on the same page, maybe. And possibly a baby. Which is a little weird. But I'm seeing an image of like suckling. So I had to kind of throw that out there. Okay. Well, I hope that's helpful for January Sagittarians and Sagittarius risings and Sagittarius moons and etc. Yeah. Yeah. Please feel free to comment below. Let me know if this resonated with you. And thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate the views and the comments. And yeah, I hope that you're finding this useful in some way. So yeah, thank you again and have a happy and healthy new year.